वीडियो को हिंदी में देखने के लिए डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए लिंक पर क्लिक करें। हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू GTC क्लासेस। In this video, we are going to discuss the key concepts, standard symbols, basic terminologies, and the standard formulae of the chapter. We will also be solving certain representative examples. The most important portion of the video is the critical area where most students commit their mistakes and lose their marks. So it would be a good thing if you note those mistakes down and made sure that you did not commit them. Factorization. This chapter is also known as remainder and factor theorem because the chapter contains only two theorems, namely remainder theorem and factor theorem. The exact word by word definition of the theorem is not required. You do not need to memorize the theorem if you are able to solve the sums. So only you need to understand the application and use the theorem to solve the sums. If fx equals to x square minus 4x plus 3. So part 1, what will be the remainder if fx is divided by x plus 2? Part 2, is x minus 1 a factor of fx? According to the question, fx equals to x square minus 4x plus 3. So the first part of the question asks us to find the remainder when fx is divided by x plus 2. To always find the remainder, we first have to express this expression in the form of x minus something. So basically we can write x plus 2 as x minus of something. Here x minus of minus 2. So therefore this minus 2 is what matters. So by remainder theorem, when fx is divided by x plus 2, remainder is equals to f minus 2. That simply meaning that we replace x and place minus 2 in its place. So we replace x by minus 2. Wherever x is present in the equation, we will replace x and put a minus 2 in its place. So basically f minus 2 will be equal to minus 2 whole square minus 4 into minus 2 plus 3. That will give me 4 plus 8 minus plus 3. That is 15. So therefore the remainder is 15. So such a process has to be applied whenever you are solving a sum using remainder theorem. The remainder theorem states that whenever you put that value in the equation, you get the remainder. The factor theorem is not far different. The factor theorem states if you use the remainder theorem, these are not the exact words, but constructive. So basically, if you use the remainder theorem and understand the basic logic of factor theorem, you will get it. When the remainder is 0, that simply means that fx has been completely divided by x plus 2. So therefore x plus 2 will be, if the remainder is 0, then the x plus 2 will be the factor of fx. So our target while using factor theorem is to prove that the remainder is 0. So when in the second part of the question, we have been asked about x minus 1 being a factor of fx or not. So since x minus 1 has already been expressed in the form of x minus something, so we just take that something 1. So putting x equals to 1 in equation 1, we get, what is equation 1? We write the fx equals to x square minus 4x plus 3 as equation 1. So we substitute 1 as the value of x. So f1 is equals to 1 square minus 4 into 1 plus 3. That gives me 1 minus 4 plus 3. That is equals to 0. You can see f1, f minus 2. These are very similar. So basically what we have proved here is that the remainder when fx is divided by x minus 1 is 0. That simply means x minus 1 is a factor of fx. In this chapter, you do not have much scope to lose marks unless there is a conceptual error in the solution. The basic places where you can lose marks are if you have not substituted the values right, or if you have not shown the step, or you have not used which implies, or whatever you have not used, and if you have not written the final statement. So those are the places in where you could lose marks, except that only one place is there which is very critical, that is expressing gx simply meaning the expression which is divided by. So is divided by x plus 2. So this x plus 2 has to be expressed in the form of x minus something. So you have to express this, else the teacher will put a question mark and ask from where did the value minus 2 come from. Use factor theorem to factorize completely x cube plus x square minus 4x minus 4. Let the given expression be equal to fx. So let fx equals to x cube plus x square minus 4x minus 4 equals to minus 4, and we take this as equation 1. We have to do a trial and error for factor theorem. What is that trial and error include? We will try the values of x, the different values of x for which f of that will give me 0. We need that particular value of x. We can do any values from the range of plus 1 minus 1, plus 2 minus 2, plus 3 minus 3 and so on. But generally everything in up to 3 comes in the exam only. So basically you can simply try 1. If the answer comes 0, then it's okay. If you can try minus 1, plus 2, minus 2, etc. I tried 2. Putting x equals to 2 in equation 1, we get f2 equals to 2 cube plus 2 square minus 4 into 2 minus 4. So I got 8 plus 4 minus 8 minus 4. That is equals to 0. Now you may ask me a question. How did I get 2? I did it on rough work. I tried 1, 2, everything, but I did not show it on the paper. I simply did it very fast orally. And you can show it on paper, but it's best. Why to waste time when you can do orally? You have to write so many statements. So you just skip the statements and tell that I tried to and I got it in the first chance. Nobody wants to see the rough work. So if by putting 2 we get 0, then by factor theorem we know that x minus 2. So whatever you put here, you transpose it to that side, you get x minus 2. X minus 2 is a factor of fx. That is what factor theorem states. Once I have one factor of fx, what I can do is I can divide this fx by this factor x minus 2 and get a quotient. That quotient will be in quadratic form. Since this is in power 3, by dividing it by any expression of power 1, I'll get it in power 2 form. And quadratic is very much solvable. So we divide x cube plus x square minus 4x minus 4 by x minus 2. So to get x cube from x, we need to multiply it by x square. So when x square is multiplied by x, we get x cube, and x square is multiplied by minus 2, we get minus 2x square. Sign is changed. So minus x cube minus x gone, plus x square plus 2x square, that is 3x square. And we pull down minus 4x. To get 3x square from x, we multiply it by 3x plus 3x. So plus 3x multiplied by x gives me plus 3x square, plus 3x multiplied by minus 2 gives me minus 6x. Again sign changed. This goes minus 4x plus 6x gives me 2x. We pull down minus 4. To get 2x from x, we multiply it by plus 2. So plus 2 into x, we get 2x. Plus 2 into minus 2, we get minus 4. So sign change, both are gone and the remainder is 0. That should have been the case because we already knew the remainder will be 0, and this is why we call it a factor. So by division algorithm, we know that dividend is equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder. The dividend is fx equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder, and remainder is 0. So you do not have to write it. So we keep the x minus 2 and we simply middle term factorize it. The second part, that is x square plus 3x plus 2. To middle term factorize it, we need the factors of 2 such that adding them gives us 3. 2 and 1. There are only 2 factors of 2. So x square plus 2x plus x plus 2. We will keep copy pasting x minus 2. Do not forget to copy paste it. So we'll take 2x common from the first 2 terms and plus 1 common from the last 2 terms. And now we will take x plus 2 common from the 2 terms. So we get x minus 2, x plus 2, x plus 1 as the factors. So therefore the expression has been completely factorized. We just write a statement: x cube plus x square minus 4x minus 4 is equal to x minus 2, x plus 2 and x plus 1. It does not really matter in which order you write, you just need to write them correctly. If x minus 2 is a factor of the expression 2x cube plus ax square plus bx minus 14, and when the expression is divided by x minus 3, comma, it leaves a remainder 52. Find the values of a and b. The expression given in the question 2x cube plus ax square plus bx minus 14. We take this expression as fx and mark it as equation 1. For factor theorem, we need to have x minus something, and that something is already given, x minus 2. We do not need to express it in any other form. So putting x equals to 2, so we just need the number x equals to 2 in equation 1. We get f2 is equals to 2 into 2 cube plus a into 2 square plus b into 2 minus 14. So we get, since we already know that x minus 2 is a factor of fx, therefore by factor theorem we can simply substitute the value of f2 as 0. We already know it's a factor, therefore f2 has to be 0. If it was not a factor, we had to prove that it was a factor, then f2 will become 0. So therefore we can directly write, you can write by factor theorem or you might not write, that's okay, is equals to 16 plus 4a plus 2b minus 14. 16 minus 14 is 2. We transpose 2 to the other side. We get 4a plus 2b equals to minus 2. We take 2 common from the left hand side. We get 2 in brackets 2a plus b equals to minus 2. 2 2's get cancel off. So we get 2a plus b equals to minus 1. You could have made this equation 1, and while using remainder theorem, you could have got another equation in a and b and made it equation 2. Rather this is as equation 2 and that as equation 3. And then you could have solved them simultaneously using elimination technique. But I chose to use substitution technique. So therefore I produce the value of b in terms of a. So value of b equals to minus 1 minus 2a. I was very much comfortable with this. If you are not very much comfortable with this, use elimination, no problem. So by remainder theorem, the question states that when fx is divided by x minus 3, the remainder is 52. But we already know that when fx is divided by x minus 3, the remainder should be f3 x minus something. That something is the point of matter. So therefore f3, but we already know the remainder is equals to 2. So therefore 52. So 52 equals to, we put 3 everywhere where x exists. So f3 becomes 2 into 3 cube plus a into 3 square plus b into 3 minus 14. So 52 equals to 54 plus 9a should have been plus 3b. I replace the value of b with minus 1 and minus 2a. So 3 into minus 1 minus 2a minus 14. 54 minus 14 gives me 40. I transpose the 40 from here to there, from the right hand side to the left hand side. I got 52 minus 40 equals to 9a minus 3 minus 6a. 9a minus 6a is 3a. I transpose 3 from here to there. So I got 52 minus 40, that is 12, plus 3, that is 15. Again transposing 3. So 15 by 3, that gives me 5. So a equals to 5. Since I already have the value of a and the value of b is dependent on the value of a, so therefore b equals to minus 1 minus 2a. Putting the value of a, minus 1 minus 2 into 5, that is minus 10. So minus 1 minus 10 is minus 11. So therefore the value of a is 5 and the value of b is minus 11. If you found the video helpful, please hit the like button. Also share the video with your friends so that it can reach to the maximum number of people. If you are still having any confusion in solving the sums of this chapter, please comment them below and I will try to solve them for you. You can support the channel by clicking on the icon and subscribing to the channel. Do not forget to press the bell icon so that you never miss any of our updates.